Hello again, and welcome to another edition of NIU Weekly. Terry Bonadonna with you once again, and hoping that your spring is going swimmingly and you're not too stressed out about the end of the school year or the start of summer. It's a wonderful time of year, and for NIU athletes, May means finals, graduation, and of course, MAC championships. We're going to cover a few of those a little bit later on in the show as we wrap up another Husky sports season, just a few months away from the fall and a brand new season. But right now we celebrate everything that has come over the course of the 2024-2025 school year. Today, this is the final spring NIU Weekly, and we're going to wrap things up by going back to the old well once again, and our favorite guest on the show, the head coach of the football team, Thomas Hammock. He'll be joining me in just a couple of minutes. We're going to check in on what he and his coaching staff have been up to during spring practices and now during that time between spring football and when the entire Husky team reports back for the summer in June. We'll get his thoughts on the team post-spring ball, and we're going to find out a little bit about what he's up to going forward in this summer. May is just getting underway. That also means that you have less than 2 months now to lock in your NIU season football tickets. You can get your 25 season tickets right now and lock in that pricing for 2026 and 2027 as well. That's going to include the Huskies' final season in the MAC and their first couple of seasons in the Mountain West Conference. We've got opponents like UNLV, Wyoming, New Mexico, Air Force, and others, teams that we have not seen in DeKalb in a long time, if ever. So a lot of really exciting home games coming up. And of course, the move to the Mountain West also means a lot more Saturday games in future years. So get your season tickets right now, because if you purchase them by June 30th of this year, you will lock in the price of the 2025 tickets for the next 2 seasons as well. So get those tickets right away. That lock-in rate applies to Westside, Reserve, and General Admission tickets only, but it is a wonderful opportunity. And you can get the tickets anytime at niuhuskies.com/tickets or call 815-753-PACK. That's 815-753-7225. If you've already purchased your season tickets for the 2025 season, then congratulations, because you're automatically locked in as long as you make sure to renew before the deadline over the next couple of seasons. I'm sure our next guest is going to echo the idea of how wonderful that deal is. We're going to find out more about the 2025 team that's coming up this fall as we welcome our first guest right now. Time to welcome in our guest for today, the head coach of the NIU football team, Thomas Hammock. Coach, always a pleasure to talk to you. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Good to see you.
You too. Let's talk about spring practice a little bit. You just wrapped up a month of practicing with the team. I'll keep it very general to start. How did it go?
I thought, we got to accomplish what we needed to. One thing about our team, we got a great group of workers, guys that understand what we want, the standards, the expectations, and how to get it done. One thing about this team is very little entitlement. So you got a bunch of guys that's competing out to try to prove themselves. And that's been refreshing as a coach. And I think our coaching staff has done a great job maximizing their abilities in the spring. And we look forward to going into the summer and trying to get these guys better and get going for the season.
What do you try to get out of spring practice? I know it's difficult because you don't have the full team that you're going to have in the fall. You've got a lot of returning players who are stepping into new roles, and you don't have a lot of time to evaluate. So what specifically are you looking for from guys during that spring window that you hope can carry over to the season?
Well, during the spring, I think the biggest thing is you're trying to evaluate strengths and weaknesses of each player. How can we utilize their strengths, minimize their weaknesses? How do they fit within our team? What can they do for us in a positive manner? Those are the things that you're looking for. So each day we go through practice, we evaluate the practice. We say, is this good enough to help us win? And if it's not, can we help them get closer? And so it's a constant give and take. It's a constant evaluation of, their abilities versus what we're asking them to do versus can they get it done? And I think, the biggest thing about spring is leaving with a healthy team, minimizing losses due to the portal, which we did, and then obviously laying the foundation of what's to come for the next 6 months of how we can build our team in a very effective manner.
And when it comes to laying that foundation, I know there's a little bit of an extra challenge this year just because you do have a lot of new coaches on the staff. three new coordinators. We got a chance to talk to them all on NIU Weekly over the last few weeks, but with Rob Harley and Quinn Sanders and Corey Connolly joining the team, that's a lot of work for you, I'm sure, integrating some new styles into what you're doing with the offense, the defense, and the special team. How do you feel like that's going?
It's been exciting for me. It's almost like taking over a new job, but the culture is already in place. And I think the biggest thing is the players, making sure that they're comfortable, making sure they understand how we do things here, and they fully understand that. And when you add coaches, it's about teaching them the way we do things at NIU. I think our coaching staff has done a great job coming in, learning how we do things. You're talking about hungry young coaches that want to prove themselves. I couldn't be more excited about how the staff came together, the way they came in, the way they built relationships with the team, and the way that they were able. It was a very seamless transition as far as I'm concerned. And I think this is a really good staff, and I think we got a really good football team.
Let's talk about the three major phases of the game individually. We'll start with the offense. And you're a guy who has a history as a running back. NIU as a school has a history with a great tradition of running backs. You bring in a new offense coordinator who has had a lot of success throwing the football over the years at some other stops that he's had. How do you feel like those two styles are blending in the early days with this team?
Well, I really like what Quinn Sanders has brought to our staff. Obviously, he has great experience as the head coach, so he can see the big picture. But then he's had great experience as a coordinator and being able to develop the quarterback position, to build an offense around the strengths of the guys and the personnel that we have. He's done a great job. Our quarterbacks have played a lot better this spring, and I think that's due to the fundamentals and techniques that Coach Sanders is teaching. I think we've implemented an offense that allows our playmakers to make plays. And I think the one thing I'm excited about is you don't know where the production is going to come from, but we're going to be very, very productive on offense. And the biggest thing for us is getting our young offensive line together. I was very pleased with how Coach Meadows really brought that group together over the second half of spring, which gives me great confidence heading into the summer that that unit is going to be a strength for us up front. And we feel like we got 8 or 9 guys that we can win with. When we get Tommy Potts back and Tweet, a transfer center, then I feel very good about, the line that we'll be able to put out there.
Let's look at the defensive side of the ball. You're coming off of one of the best defensive seasons in NIU history. So a lot of new players are going to step up into new roles, and they've got big shoes to fill. Of course, a new coordinator, big shoes to fill as well. What did you like on that side of the ball in spring?
Well, I think, the biggest thing defensively is we got a lot of guys that's played football for us, maybe have not started, but played a lot of football for us. We have a lot of guys in the program that's been a part of our program and knows what it takes. And the biggest thing I can say about it is, I've been here long enough now to know what it looks like. And that unit is going to be very, very, tough defensively. I think our front four is going to be extremely difficult to penetrate. Our linebackers did a great job playing downhill this spring. And the back end of our defense, I think, we've been able to add some pieces, some transfers that we feel like can step in and play. And the biggest thing about, in this era of college football, there's going to always be guys you don't know about until they play. Last year, nobody knew about Santana Banner but us because we seen him in a program. We have a lot of guys like that in our program that's developed, that's grown tremendously on and off the football field, that's going to be making a lot of plays for us on offense and defense.
Let's look towards the special teams. You did lose a lot of specialists from last year. So I'm sure to some extent that's kind of fun. You get a chance during spring practice to really evaluate guys, see who is stepping up and who's going to earn those roles. What did you see from that side?
Well, first of all, the coaching, Coach Conley and what he's brought to our staff as a special teams coordinator, a guy that did it for 10 years at Ball State, has really elevated that phase of the game. And so when I look at our team, I really look at this is probably our most complete team that we've had. In 21, when we won the MAC, we were more offensive driven. Last year, we were more defensive driven. But now when I look at our team, I look at all three phases being a weapon for us. And that goes a long way. And I think what Coach Conley has done with our special teams. We've added a kicker who I think is going to win us some games. We got a young punter who can flip the field. And we have a good group of core players that are probably, in the two deep, but it's going to play a lot of special teams for us that we feel like can be difference makers in that unit. So I'm excited about our special teams. I thought last year our special teams was an Achilles heels for us, and that kind of hurt us in some games. But this year, I think we can really use special teams as a weapon to create field advantage, to flip the field, to make game-winning field goals. And I think that unit is really going to surprise a lot of people.
Were there any players who stood out to you, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams, in the spring that you just looked at and said, that's a different player than we saw in the fall, or this guy's really taken the next step?
Yeah, I think, offensively, just to talk about a couple guys, Champ Gibbons would be one at the wide receiver. He was a transfer that we took and came in and did a phenomenal job, giving us the ability to be deeper at the wide receiver position. LaDon Bryant is a receiver that played toward the end of the year last year. He really stepped up this spring. Romello Ware is a different player than when he walked in the building, and I think he's going to be a guy that's going to contribute for us. Defensively, a transfer, Devontae Murray. He's a guy that we knew a lot about, was very productive, but the way he's come in and gave us another capable option on the edge really allows us some versatility up front with a guy like Jelani Williams, who has the ability to play inside and outside from that standpoint. Mark Preto, he was a guy that he redshirted last year. Didn't expect a whole lot, but he left spring as one of our better linebackers in the program. So those guys, along with a transfer, Jasper Beeler, came in, and Devion Reynolds. I'm missing some guys, but just to give you a couple guys that people may not know their names, but they're certainly going to know them after the season.
What comes next for the program? You're done with spring practice. It's going to be another month or two before you're able to get the full team out there for the summer. So where do you go from here in terms of that preparation?
Well, I think the biggest thing we did post-spring, we've self-scouted each side of the ball, and we did a thorough self-scout, a thorough dive into, things that can become problems during the season, and how each side of the ball looks at the other side. So once we got through that process, now it's about building our schemes around the personnel to maximize the guys' strengths. So we'll spend a lot of time in the summer building game plans of how we want to attack people in all three phases. Obviously, our players will do a lot of lifting and running to make sure that we can get in the best shape possible for the season. We'll give them a little bit of time off before the for the 4th of July, and then we'll reconvene the second half of July and try to really ramp up before we get to fall camp. So a lot of work for us as coaches, a lot of work for the players in the weight room and running. And then obviously when we come back for fall camp, at that point, we should be clicking on all cylinders.
We've been talking a lot about looking forward to the 2025 season, but there are certainly some things that we can still celebrate from 2024 as well, including a number of NIU players who got signed by NFL teams after the draft. I want to make sure I'm not missing anybody, but Javon Bird and Nate Valcarcel and Brock Lampy, J.J. Lippy, Logan Schernitz, and I feel like I am missing somebody. But I think you had 6 players picked up by NFL teams. That's got to be a big boost to you in the program.
Yeah. And Brock Lampy would be the other one.
Okay.
No, that is a big boost. And, when you're in the NFL, obviously everybody wants to get drafted. But at the end of the day, just having an opportunity to prove yourself on that stage is all you can ask for. There's only 257 guys get drafted, but there's going to be a lot more guys make teams, make practice squad guys that wasn't drafted. So I'm excited about those 6 young men and the opportunity that they are afforded. And I feel like we'll have 2 or 3 guys make an NFL team this year.
And the other thing that I think is worth celebrating this time of year, especially when you're talking about previous members of the NIU football program, it is May, school wrapping up. 18 members of the football team graduated from NIU this year. I know academics are always a big part of what you're pushing with this team as well. So that's also got to feel good.
No, academics is still the main focus. It's called student athlete for a reason. And I know college football is changing, the landscape is changing, but at the end of the day in our program, we want to prepare guys for the next 40 to 50 years of their life, not for the short term. So we're going to continue to push academics, make sure our guys continue to get their degrees and be prepared for life.
Well, Coach, we've talked about how you get a little bit of time off. Somewhat, I know that the season never ends when it comes to evaluating talent and scouting and recruiting, but we're at a time of year a little bit where you can kind of take a step back. Do you have anything fun planned for the next couple of months before you really have to dive in for the new season?
You know, my kids are in sports, so I get a chance to watch them at night. My daughter plays lacrosse in high school, and then my son plays baseball. So just having an opportunity to spend time with them and watch them grow and develop and go through some of the things that, you know, our student athletes are going through from a coaching standpoint and relationship standpoint, I think it's fun to see as a parent where I'm not invested in the wins and losses, but that they're getting the right message and handling things the right way.
Well, Coach Hammock, it's been great catching up with you. I know I can't wait for the start of the football season. I think you're getting everybody else excited as well, really talking up this team. I can't wait to see them in action. So thanks for joining us on NIU Weekly.
It's going to be a fun year. Excited about it. Obviously, this will be my 7th season. I think I have a pretty good idea of what it looks like, and I think people will really be excited about this football team.
Thanks, Coach. Always great to catch up with Coach Thomas Hammock, and of course, it just makes us feel like football season is right around the corner. But it is still the spring, and there are still some spring sports we need to wrap up here. And there are, in particular, some spring sports at NIU that are really worth shouting out. The first one is the NIU women's tennis team, who enjoyed a fantastic season this year. They made their first appearance in the MAC championship tournament since 2017. They won the MAC West title and made it all the way to the MAC championship. To cap it all off, they ended up with an invitation to the postseason with the National Invitation Tournament. They competed in Rome, Georgia. So congratulations once again to a wonderful season for the Huskies women's tennis team. They set a school record in dual match victories. It was their first ever appearance in the MAC championship. And of course, that MAC West title that we talked about as well. Congrats to Coach Eric Burns and the entire women's tennis team. We'd also like to offer congratulations to the NIU softball team, which had a great season and qualified for the MAC tournament. First time since 2019 that they got there. They earned the number 6 seed in that tournament. And as of this recording, they are playing in that tournament right now. So fingers crossed that all went well for the women's softball team here at NIU. We'd also like to issue a huge congratulations to every NIU student and student athlete who graduated this May from NIU. The number I believe is 84. That's my count for the number of student athletes who are graduating this year, including, as we mentioned earlier, 18 members of the football team. So a big source of pride here at NIU, 84 student athletes graduating. You can go to NIUHuskies.com for a complete list of graduates. You can also go to NIUHuskies.com for all of your updates on NIU athletics throughout the entire year. And of course, the Husky social media platforms as well. You get your news and updates always on the website, NIUHuskies.com, or our social media channels. As you know, there's never much downtime before a new group of freshmen are on campus, and we start another exciting year of NIU sports. It is so close, even as this school year ends, the next one is coming up. So thank you for watching NIU Weekly, not just today, but throughout this year, all during football season, of course, during the spring season as well. I've enjoyed putting these together with you, and I've enjoyed your company. I hope you've enjoyed mine as well. So I hope you've really liked the shows we put together and the interviews with some of the coaches here at NIU and members of the NIU community. Please help us grow this channel by sharing, liking, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Look for even more features and great content in the future. As we wrap things up here, a big thanks as always to our editor, Kevin Meyer. Thanks as well to Donna Turner for helping to put this whole show together. Thank you again to every guest who joined us over the course of this school year, and especially to Coach Hammock, who was with us every week during the football season and was able to join us again today. I look forward to talking with him again during football season and to joining you again as we return with more episodes of NIU Weekly this August. Until then, as always, go Huskies.